Hi, I'm Kurt Fernley, former Paralympian, broadcasting from a Wabacool country.
And I'm Georgie Tunney, Paralympics tragic, and I am broadcasting from Gadigal country.
And on today's show, we confirm Lucky Undies are a prereq to be an Australian Paralympian.
No, Kurt, I just refuse to believe that. Stop trying to make Lucky Undies happen.
It's a fact. And we catch up with Pat Jensen and his guide, Amelia Hodgson.
Oh, I am really excited about this, Kurt, because it's confirmed. You and I, we can do this. Guide and athlete, we get all the tips so that I can lead Kurt Fernley down the mountain.
Please no.
It'll be fun.
Hey, Georgie, what's your You Little River moment today?
Now, this is an interesting one, Kurt, so let me provide some context and explain. So stay with me here, because we love a You Little Ripper moment that gets us screaming, gets us cheering in joy, gets us crying, and, you know, scenes of jubilation that has us screaming, You Little Ripper. But mine today had me screaming You Little Ripper in a different way, because my heart was in my throat. I'd stopped breathing almost, and it came in the Para-Alpine Super G, and it was Mitch Gawley who was competing. Now, he's already competed previously in his previous event in the downhill, and he couldn't finish that event. He fell in that, and it happened again today. But in the Super G, he actually fell for a really long time down the mountain, and he was going at such speed. So he'd slipped, he'd lost a ski, he was going, I think, for about 100 meters, just rocketing down the mountain. And there was all this powder flying everywhere, and I had stopped breathing. But then he just popped up. He just popped up when he eventually stopped, popped up, he was fine, not injured. And I just went, oh God, you bloody ripper. Like, it just, in my head, he was going to be seriously injured, and he wasn't, thank goodness. And he's going to be competing again in another event very, very shortly. But Mitch Gawley, what an absolute legend. That's my You Little Ripper moment.
How tough are these guys? You know, not only are they going down and there's so much control, but they're also so, they kind of know how to fall.
Yes.
And then some of the stacks that I've seen, and guys kind of just brush themselves off and get back up and finish their event, or just head down the mountain. It's mind blowing.
It's mind blowing. I'm telling you, if that happened to me, Kurt, air ambulance. You call that air ambulance. If I had one little tiny fall, I'm talking a stubbed toe, air ambulance. Get me out.
I would be demanding a massage before I even attempted to get back off the snow.
You would.
Something needs to be put back into place.
What was your You Little Ripper moment?
My You Little Ripper moment is Pat Jensen. Seeing him compete again today, and he would cross in sixth place in the Super G, but seeing his kind of celebration as he competes, seeing how he just loves doing what he's doing. He's a Newcastle boy. Being an Overcastrian, I love to see him hit the line. But him and Amelia Hodgson, seeing them compete together, for me, that's my You Little Ripper moment. They're a great team. Saw them for the second time. We get to see them again on Monday as well. What about best of the rest, Georgie? Where'd you go to?
Mine, I actually went over, I was going to say over the ditch, but that is the wrong reference. I was Ducks of Geography, by the way, just so I can point out that. But over the ditch meaning Great Britain, if we just take it to mean that for context. I'm going to give it to two Great Britain athletes, Neil Simpson and Andrew Simpson, who won gold in the men's Super G today. And it was the first gold, I believe, Paralympic gold for a man on Team Great Britain. And what made it so special for me and why it qualifies as the best of the rest is because when you win a gold medal, amazing. When you can do that when you're with your brother, when your guide is your brother, it's just, I think, extra special. I'm not sure, you know, that kind of family connection. I have an older sister. If I was able to experience something like that with her, it gives you goosebumps just to be able to have, you know, that special of a memory. And I know that in the lead up to the Paralympics in January, I think they'd finished top 5 in quite a few of their events. So also just to see the progress and the skill level, just the improvement for them on a long season, and getting to have the best performance out of both of them at the peak at the Paralympic Games. It was so wonderful to see.
There is something really nice about family competing. You know, like the Brownlee brothers out of the UK when they were in the triathlon and they were looking after each other. When one started to stumble, he got picked up by his brother. I don't know. When you see family compete, I'm with you. There is something really, really special, and to share a gold medal as well, just beautiful. My best of the rest is that curling has started. The wheelchair curling.
Yes.
You know I'm a fan.
I do know you're a fan of this.
It
Because
has.
you've said before that you would love to give this a go.
I would love to give it a go, and it's kind of like lawn bowls. It's the technique, the tactics. It's a really exciting sport. You know, it's kind of like when my brain is constantly in summer Paralympic modes, but seeing the bocce for the very first time,
Yeah.
I remember just loving bocce. When I first saw the wheelchair curling, it was the same deal. I kind of I want to be in that game.
Yeah.
So it's my favourite. The Chinese team, the defending champions, they were up today. I sat down, watched the whole thing. That's my best of the rest. Another performance today. Sam Tate was up again in the Super G. Unfortunately, he had another tumble. I know that's going to be tough for Sam. He is in great form. He is up again on Monday, so he does have another shot in the green and gold. Time for what we've all been waiting for, the interview of interviews. We get to chat to the Australian athlete on the ground in Beijing 22. We are not just speaking to one athlete, we are speaking to two athletes, athlete and guide, the team, the dynamic duo, Pat Jensen, Amelia Hodgson. Welcome to You Little Ripper.
Thank you for having us, Kurt. It's an absolute pleasure.
Mate, I've loved watching you over the last couple of days. You know what is my favorite thing is about 3/4 down on day one, I could hear some hooting and hollering. I could hear some like, get up there, yeah! Like some celebration. Like you were truly getting into the experience. It was you, right?
It was me. I screamed like a little girl yesterday. I don't even really remember doing it. I remember having intentions of doing it, but yeah, it happened.
Well, it happened. And how have you seen your performances so far, Pat, and Amelia too? Because I want you kind of to explain to our listeners as well, who may not know your event as well as we do, what the role of the guide is and just how difficult it is.
So my role is just to get Pat downhill as fast as possible and obviously as safe as possible. And yeah, it's difficult, but I think it goes 50%. Like he has to trust me to get down the hill as fast as he can. It's not just my line.
It's a big job.
What do you mean it's a big job? What sort of keys or what sort of things are you looking out for when you're going down that hill, Pat? As a vision impaired athlete, you're using a lot of Amelia's cues to know left, right, pace, descent, steep, all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, when I say it's a big job, it's a huge job, not just a big job. Amelia gets me down as fast as I can possibly go. And for me, having to listen to everything that Amelia says, it's all a trust thing. So if Amelia's doing her job as well as she can do, that means I'm going to ski as well as I can, which Amelia does that all the time. So it's been perfect.
And what do you mean? How hard was it to build that trust, guys? Like when this partnership was formed, was that an immediate kind of thing, or how long does that take to really be able to speak each other's language?
Well, it can take a really long time for a vision impaired athlete and guide to form that bond, that trust level that is required when you're skiing as fast as you can, whatever vision impaired category that's in. But I feel like we kicked it off pretty quick. We got thrown in the deep end of race training and kind of pushed straight towards a race season a couple of months later. But I feel like once we had a speed camp over in Switzerland a couple of months later. Once you ski speed together, that kind of forces a bit of trust. But if you don't trust your guide to get you down the hill at 100 Ks plus an hour, something bad could definitely happen.
Well, Amelia, were any of those, hoots and hollerings coming from Pat? Were any of them, were you worried at any stage that he'd actually fallen over and it was actually a scream of help me, or were you fine?
No, I think working with Pat for so long, I don't know, you like know each other's voice and tones so well. Like I know he makes this really distinct sound when he falls over. So I know it.
I'm gonna get you to just imitate that for us, please, Amelia. What does Pat sound like when he falls over?
It's like
And then radio silence.
yeah. And then some like muffled stuff. But yeah.
Well, we do need to find out and clarify when you first go down the hill, very first time together, which job do you think is more terrifying? To be the guide for the very first time, or to be the VI athlete who is following the guide for the very first time that you're 100 kilometers an hour plus?
I'm going to hands down say the guide, because I've gone through a fair few guides now, which is quite difficult, but I'm used to it and I'm used to putting my trust into people. Whereas for Amelia being a brand new guide, I feel like that would be terrifying. You don't know what this person behind you is doing. You have no idea. So
no.
Yeah.
No, I think it's super scary trying to follow someone and you get the spray and you get, I don't know, maybe I say something different or no, him.
So Amelia, for you, is it concerns for your safety, what Pat's alluding to there, that he may come and just run over the top of you at certain stages, or is it more the responsibility for keeping Pat safe, or is it a whole combination of both that you find, probably makes being a guide difficult but also rewarding, but as you say, easier than being the one being led?
No, I think I don't ever think about my own safety. It's obviously I'm scared sometimes of hills and how steep they are, but I don't think about my own safety. It's definitely about Pat's safety, because if I accidentally don't call a roll or I don't say something at the right time, then Pat could go into the nets, or like it could be really disastrous. And I think that's way more important.
Amelia is selfless.
Well, you have been working so well together as a team. It's been amazing to watch you from back home. I know that it's you've enjoyed every single one of those events, but you're about to enjoy the biggest event that the world has ever seen. It's right. The event here at you Little Ripper. It's called Fast Five.
Yeah, you've done some competitions before, guys, but nothing like this. So prepare yourselves.
All right.
What do you wish that you had in the village, but you can't get?
A really good coffee.
Oh.
Although
green vegetables. So we're like, that's very healthy. That's very healthy, Amelia. I'm just saying, Pat's gone out on a limb and said, caffeine, which is everyone's drug of choice, and you've gone for something really healthy. I don't know how you guys work as a partnership.
I just had KFC in bed.
Oh my God, me too. Oh, Pat, our worlds collide. I had that as well today.
Recovery.
It's like yin and yang. I love it.
What I'm hearing is I can be a Paralympian too. That's what I'm hearing. Maybe if I just, worship my body slightly more with some more KFC, I could get to that elite level. Who knows? Who knows? No, Kurt's shaking his head. Okay.
That's a solid no there, Georgie.
Solid no. All right, number two. Do you have any superstitions, either of you? What are your superstitions?
Well, I don't really know. I always wear the same style of underwear.
Oh my God, Pat, I've got to interject here because bloody hell, you athletes and your absolute obsession with wearing the same underwear all the time. This is a Kurt Fearnley thing. This is a Kurt Fearnley thing that he said was a thing, and I didn't believe him. I was like, nah.
This isn't just a Kurt Fearnley thing. This is a Riley Bat thing. This is a Sam Kerr thing. This is a Pat Jensen thing. This is an Australian sport thing. You've got to have some weird relationship to your jocks, or else really, are you even competing for Australia?
Amelia, save us here. Surely you don't buy into this, do you? You're not wearing the same underwear, or are you?
No, I actually wore our Ski-Tex underwear the other day just by accident. They were in my laundry, so I didn't have a problem with it. I don't know.
Actually, well, there you go. See, if there was something to do with the underwear, working so closely as you guys do, surely if Pat has to have the same pairs of underwear, it would help if Amelia's wearing the same, but therefore it doesn't. So therefore the superstition is debunked.
No,
do we believe that
doesn't count.
I don't agree at all.
No, that doesn't count. That is like there is able to be yin and yang when it's a team. As long as one person is has some weird kink with their with their jocks, we're all good. It covers us.
They're magic.
Yeah, of course. Who is your favorite teammate? You can be honest here.
Ooh, I'm going to say Amelia.
I have to say Pat.
Again, correct answer to you both.
Yeah, good. That was solid from you both. I think there'd be there could be issues. Could be issues if that wasn't the answer that you both gave out. Is there anyone, any athlete in the village that you guys, fangirl or fanboy over, someone that you've seen that you're like, or that you know, and you're just that's who you get most excited about being in the village with?
I'm so excited to see Marek. I don't know what his last name is, but he's a Slovakian visually impaired skier, and he is completely blind, and he is such a legend.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Marek Kabaka, I believe. He skis under the B1 category. He's the only one here as a B1, so completely blacked out goggles, and he does it like an absolute champ every day. And I guess when I go to a B1 ski racer, that's kind of what I want to live up to, is what he's done.
If you weren't the super fast skiing dynamic duo that you both are, what Paralympic event do you think you'd like to have a crack at?
I always was intrigued by vision impaired surfing.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Wait, how would that work?
Well, I don't even know what the actual competition is like. I haven't really seen it, but I grew up surfing, so I can surf, but I guess doing it in competition would be pretty fun.
Well, I think that it's either on a longboard, but I know that you're a Newcastle boy, so that means that we need to somehow get you two on a longboard at Merriweather Beach by next summer. That needs to be the goal. 2 people on the board figuring out how to get in.
I love Amelia. You don't have a choice in this. Kurt's just roped you in too.
I can't stand up on a surfboard, so I'll lie down.
Yeah. You can kneel. That's what I do every time I get on the surfboard. You kneel on the board. Nobody judges you. It's all fun and games. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. We know that you've had a big couple of days already. You're on again on Monday. Goodbye. How great to just see the real genuine joy in Pat. But
I love that both of them disagree with who has the harder job. I found that really interesting. Athletes like, oh, being a guide would be so hard. Guides like, oh my God, being the athlete, so hard.
I'm still confused. I couldn't pick which one. I think honestly, as an athlete, I think the stress of having an athlete rely on every word that I say would be way too much to handle. I
Yeah.
couldn't be the guide. I would
Do it.
have to be the athlete traveling me behind. But
All right, Kurt, I'll be your guide. Fine.
you said you don't know. You said you don't know how to tell your left from your right.
Those are the risks you take. Those are the risks you
Georgie
take.
Tunney, you are my guide through the You Little Ripper journey, but maybe not down an icy hill going 130 kilometres an hour.
Kurt, you know the saying. You got to risk it to get the biscuit. Words to live by. All right, that's what we're doing.
It's another show, Georgie. It's another You Little Ripper, and again, this is the most accessible podcast that Australian sports community has ever seen. Transcripts will be available and it will be translated into Auslan. Just search You Little Ripper on YouTube and these episodes will be there.
They certainly will. And as I've said before, we look damn good in Auslan. You could even say we look hot. That's what it is. We bring the heat to every type of accessibility that is out there. So make sure you support the pod. We really, really do appreciate it.
A big thank you to Toyota for making this podcast possible.
Yeah, and we really, really do mean that. We could not be talking to each other, having so much fun, having so many You Little Ripper moments and bringing that joy to you and having a chat to these Paralympians who are just putting everything out there for you to see them and for themselves. And it's just so wonderful. So thank you so, so much to Toyota for the ongoing support.